Hi everyone, today you're going to make Viennese Whirls. The recipe for this is on page 49 of your school recipe book with the ingredients list on there and the method, and also you'll have this video to watch back to show you what to do. Now make sure you have washed your hands for at least 20 seconds, you've got a clean apron on, your hair's tied back, your sleeves are rolled up and you've got no jewellery on, okay? The ingredients then that you will need are 200 grams of soft margarine, so I'm using this stalk margarine. You will need 200 grams of plain flour, 50 grams of icing sugar, a couple of drops of vanilla extract, and then some cherries. So I bought these glacé cherries that have already been halved in this tub. Okay. All right. I've got my oven already preheated at gas mark 4 or 180 degrees. Make sure your work surface is nice and clean and you've got your ingredients already weighed out. Okay, I'm just going to move the camera down so you can see what I'm doing here. Right, the first thing then you need to do is cream your margarine and your icing sugar. So you can either do that just with a wooden spoon, or if you've got one of these electric whisks, you can do it with that as well. So in your large bowl, you're going to add your margarine and you're going to add your icing sugar. Okay, now be very careful when started to cream this, because icing sugar is very fine. Alright, and if you start doing it too fast, the icing sugar is going to go all over the place. So just do it very gently first. So you can just do it with your wooden spoon and cream that until it's really light and fluffy and it's a nice white colour. Or you can do it with your electric whisk. So on a slow speed first of all, and then build it up as it starts to blend in together. It shouldn't take too long to combine these two ingredients together. Okay, just using a spatula, I'm just going to scrape the sides of the bowl to get all the ingredients back into the centre. Alright, you're then going to add your vanilla essence, so a couple of drops of vanilla essence or vanilla extract. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fill the lid of the vanilla extract bottle in and then add it like so. Okay, and just mix that in. Okay. Right, now with the flour, you're going to add a little bit of flour at a time, so don't add it all at once. Okay, so you want to do it in probably about 3 sections. So I'm going to add some flour in and then beating that in. Beat it in well before adding another batch of flour. Okay, add a little bit more. Beat that in well so it's nice and soft. And then add the final lot of your flour. Okay, again, I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl so that I make sure I mix in all of the ingredients. And one final mix. So you want the mixture to be beaten in well, and you want it to be nice and soft. It starts to go like a pale yellowy colour. Okay. Alright, so that's what you should end up with. Okay, you will then need a baking tray with some baking paper on and a piping bag with a large star nozzle in. Okay, these piping bags, I've just bought these disposable ones from Tesco, but you may have some material type piping bags that you can reuse, but these ones that it comes in a roll and you just rip one off. Okay, I put the piping bag into a jug because it's going to be then easier for me to fill with the dough mixture. Okay, so add the mixture into the piping bag. Like so. Let's add a bit more. And just squeeze the mixture down the piping bag. You just see it coming out of the end of the nozzle, so we know it's gone all the way down. And then you're going to pipe flat whirls onto your baking sheet. Okay, so I'm going to start in the center and then I'm going to pipe around so you get that. Okay, starting in the center, pipe around like so, pressing down the mixture as well to make sure I'm using it all up. Press it down, start in the center and down. If your mixture is too stiff and you can't get it out of the piping bag, okay, you can just warm it up a little bit with your hands, or you can add a tiny little bit of milk, but be careful when adding any milk that you don't add too much, okay, just to loosen up the mixture. Alright, let's add a little bit more into my piping bag, and then we'll carry on piping this on. So in the center, going round in circles. Okay. Right, once you've done that, you're going to get your cherries and you're going to add half a cherry in the center of each of the Viennese whirls. So these, once they're cooked, they're going to be a really short texture because you've used plain flour, so that means they're going to be really nice and crumbly, and they should just melt in the mouth when you eat them, so they should have a really nice texture. So these now are going to go into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes, okay, until they're pale and golden, and then we'll have a look at them when they come out of the oven. Now remember to use oven gloves when you put food into the oven, and of course when you take them out. Make sure that the oven gloves are not wet, make sure there's no holes in the oven gloves, because you do not want to be burning yourself. If you do unfortunately burn yourself, remember you place the burnt area under cold running water for at least 10 minutes. Okay, these are going to go into the oven now then for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Okay, welcome back. My Viennese whirls have been in the oven for about 10 minutes and you can see they're nice and golden brown and they've slightly expanded just a little bit. I've taken the tray out using my oven gloves. I've got a pan stand ready to put my hot tray on, all ready and prepared. Okay, so you need to take off your Viennese whirls off your tray, place them onto your cooling rack so that these can cool down. So you must let these cool down so they're cold before putting them into a container to store them. Okay, if you are storing them, make sure that these are in an airtight container, so it's a container with a lid on it. Right, my baking paper can be put into the bin. I've got a bowl of hot soapy water here to put my tray into to cool it down nice and quickly so that we don't have any accidents. Okay, so there's my Viennese whirls all finished, cooling down, ready to go into a container. So I look forward to seeing some photographs of your finished product and seeing what people say about your finished product. So I'd like to see some comments as well. Enjoy making them and see you next time. Bye.